Welcome back to another Operation Meteor Report, your weekly stop for all things Gundam Card Game and assembled by Bandai. We've got a lot of news to cover this week, so let's just jump right into it. No assemble news. Hoping to hear something again. We'll probably stop talking about that, elephant in the room until he actually moves. So with that, let's go and talk about Bandai news. Bandai has officially launched a YouTube channel for their official trading card games. That's right. One Piece, Digimon, Gundam, of course, and all their other ones will now have a channel to host their official events on. Whether they're big or small, it's hard to say. But I'm hoping at Card Game Fest here in 2 weeks, they'll be using that to show off everything for the main states that they have there. So we'll drop a link in there. You can check it out, subscribe. They already did a event for One Piece last weekend, and it looks like it was pretty good and well done. So we're hoping we'll hear more from that channel in the upcoming weeks. Next, they did another Link Station. Number 11 is now out. This one had a matchup between a kind of a white-green wing deck, I guess you can say, and then they also had a aggro featuring a Xeon Rush deck. Part of the broadcast that they did also displayed some cards, which we'll cover later in the program, and then they also had a couple of event notices as well. I'm a little bit disappointed and I'm a bit mad, but hopefully it'll come over. One of the things that they did announce in Japan that they haven't announced yet for the United States, Europe, or Oceania is that there is an Iron Blood playmat that folks in Japan will have, along with the teaching app that will have an update this month. They didn't give an exact date. They said sometime in mid-September, so could be next week, could be the week after. Maybe they're coinciding with the release of Iron Bloom. That deck will be in there to test with, so if you have the official teaching app, it might be worth a try to just check it out. It's a free way of playing against the AI, and we'll see what we get from there. Speaking of events in Japan, they're doing a Metaverse Japan again. Can we get that? Can we have a Metaverse so we can play against people online? That'd be kind of cool to give us another shot at some of these promos like the Menager and Unicorn or something. Hell, most of us have some sort of, way of doing Metaverse at this point, right? Come on, throw us a bone here. Blooded Orphans deck added into the pre-battle coming up in the teaching app. And then you can also get Iron-Blooded Orphan cards from opening packs. You can get Altar cards that are usable in the app as it updates later this month. All right, let's talk tournaments. September through October is, I would call, tournament season at this point because we have 3 of them going on this month, 1 next month. So we have coinciding right now is the Newtype challenge. You will need to search for these stores using your Bandai TCG Plus app, see what stores are running the event. Not everyone does. I'll give you an example. I live on the Front Range. There was one store that was servicing probably everyone in the 60-mile radius, and a lot of people are driving. We filled 32 spots easily, but I had folks that drove an hour that came in just to get their hands on the unforeseen incident. 4 players walked away with that Solid Mercury pilot card and the Aerial Rebuild card. So just know that not every store that sells the product is able to do that, which is unfortunate. Talk to your stores, see what they can do to raise their stakes in Bandai. That's the only way you're going to get more of these challenges, because I have a feeling every, not starter deck, but booster box will include some type of challenge. We'll probably have a dual impact challenge probably sometime later in the year, and it's going to be the same thing. Only certain stores are going to have them, and your chance of getting your hand on those special promo cards are going to get harder and harder to get to. With that, I'll drop some links from TCG Top Decks. If you haven't looked at that, take a good look, because you'll see what folks have been reporting for that. It seems like there's a variety of decks winning this in my store. We had a Cyber Newtype blue-red ping deck win it. I know another guy, he won it with a blue-white Unicorn Tempo deck. It seems like as long as you're good and proficient with the deck and you are favored in some matchups and hopefully your deck doesn't break, you have a good shot at winning it. I've even seen the one-year Rush deck and Xeon Rush deck get up into the top 4. So now all hope is lost for you aggro players. Pro Play Games Summit is this Friday and Saturday. I will be attending. I'll be playing in the sealed event deck, and I will also be competing in the structure win case event. These are all tantamount on the fact that we have enough players signed up. If we have the maximum amount of players, the minimum amount of players, we're looking at giving away to first place 8 Newtype Rising booster boxes, 4 for second place, 3 for fourth place. And then your top 8 will just end up getting a box. Top 16 gets a Newtype booster pack. So a lot of prizes to give away. The limited starter deck, best of one, $800 if we can fill it. I'm really hoping this fires off because this will give us another way of playing the game in a more competitive format. Even though it's not an official Bandai sponsored event, it's a good way to keep the competitive season going because outside of the offline regionals, we don't have any online regionals yet like they do in Japan. So this is a good way to keep people in the habit of playing in these high stakes events. We'll hopefully get some deck information, some tips and tricks to see how people are playing this game at a high level. I'm hoping that we'll see some here in the future when it comes to more of these high-end events. They're also doing on-demand win-a-box, so even if, let's say that you have just run on luck and you run to your worst matchup 4 matches in a row and you drop, there's a chance you can still walk home with a, box. They're only going to do those on-demand. So I'll report that to you guys on Monday. Get you guys some more event on that. Speaking of events, next weekend, we have Bandai Card Game Fest. I happened to get lucky enough to win a ticket, so I am now going. I will cover the event Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll have stuff featuring just the event itself, and then I will also try to do my best to try to get you guys some in-depth information about how things are progressing as the day goes on, how the event ran. Maybe we'll see some premiere names there, and I'm looking forward. This is my first Bandai event that I'm attending, so I'm really excited just to check out and see how Bandai runs their events compared to the ones that I've been to, like at Gen Con, the Las Vegas Open, and a few others I've had the privilege of participating at, including the Seattle Lorcana DLC. Speaking of that, because I'm attending those events, my Mobile Suit Mondays and Pilot Profiles will be suspended for at least a few weeks. I'm just going to fill in those time slots with some of these events and scheduling, and then we'll get back into it in a couple of weeks featuring the pilots and mobile suits and the dual impact and Iron Gloom Clan Battle starter decks. All right, and with that, my time is going to be pretty busy. I'm going to be doing some more testing with my deck. I end up playing in our good lord. I ended up playing in our Newtype challenge. Didn't make the top cut. I was just one victory away. I ended up playing a green white wing deck. Did pretty well up until, I couldn't finish off the game. So I'm going to be practicing and I'll see how well my prep does and getting me to ready for the Dallas event and this Pro Play Game Summit. And if I do pretty well, I'll give you guys some ideas on how I prepare for it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have your own strategies, but I can at least give you some insight on how, what I might have done got me in better shape than, what I would have done without doing that. We're going to go into our card reveals. We got a small list in the last week. First off, we have Beneath the Mask. Blue, level 1, cost 1, main action. Choose 1 to 2 enemy units, level 2 or lower, and rest them. The Turning Point of History. Green, level 1, cost 1, main action. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and return 1 to the top. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck. Then, if you have a Newtype pilot in play, draw 1. McGillis Schwable Grays. White, level 4, costs 3, Space Earth trades Galahorn. Link paired with McGillis Farid. Blocker, when paired, choose 1 enemy unit that's level 3 or lower. It gets AP -2 during this turn. McGillis Farid. White, level 4, cost 1, +2 AP, +1 health. Galahorn. When paired, if you have 2 or more other Galahorn or Tekkadan units in play, choose 1 enemy unit with 3 or less HP rested. Gun Cannon. G-Quax. Red, level 2, cost 2, Space Earth Federation. 3 attack, 2 health. Rick Diaz. White, level 3, cost 2, 3 AP, 3 health. Blocker, AU trait. Hyakrin. Purple, level 3, cost 2, Space Earth Tewaz. 4 AP, 3 health. Gray's Commander type. White, level 3, cost 2, Galahorn. Link with Galahorn trait. 3 attack and 2 health. Wow. So the internet's buzzing ablaze about that last card as of this morning because it fits in a weird spot with the Zord being replaceable cards, because with Zord, you can attack an enemy shield or life with it. This one does, and it has a link. So it may finally replace a card that does pretty well early on, being a 2/2, 3/2, but you can't attack. But this one, it's a level 3, so it's got to wait a little bit longer. But in endgame, it does better because you can pair it with something and maybe finish off an opponent. So this gives some people some interesting things. You got the turning point of history. It gives those Xeon Rush decks some ability to search and draw, because they're likely playing with a Char Aznable. When your Rush deck can benefit from Sayla, Amuro, and if you are playing a Char on that one, you can roll with that. The blue cost one, Beneath the Mask, that's going to be kind of interesting, because resting 2 level 2 units can be important if you're playing against an aggro deck, in the sense that you could potentially slow them down by taking out their units, because sometimes they're not resting them. The McGillis cards, we'll see. We're not entirely sure what other stuff, unless you're playing a little bit more wide with those. I'm not sure where we can really benefit from those. And then we got some normal stat boosters, so we'll go from there. I did want to close out with 2 things. One, regarding the Suletta Mercury and the Gundam Ariel and the unforeseen incidences, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you from my experience playing other card games like Lorcana and a few others. I will say this out loud. This is not financial advice, but just experience. I have seen some of these promo cards start off really high and then come down towards the end of the event. I can't say if that's going to be safe for Gundam, but if you wanted to wait, I would use tools like Magical Meta and kind of track the transactions and see how many of them are floating around. I know some stores just like to get their events out of the way, so we might just see an initial burst for like the first 2 to 3 weeks, meaning that there may not be any more cards flooding the market for the next few weeks when it comes to these cards being out of rotation. So just be on the lookout for a lot of this stuff when you guys are making transactional trades, because I've seen some cards start off as high as $200, like this Suletta Mercury, and then dropping down to as low as $120. So I don't know if that's going to continue the trend, but keep an eye out there, especially if you need those for your collections. And in the event that you don't have an event, or you just missed the cut by a little bit, people are selling those cards, so don't lose hope on that. Second, rules. Read the rules. I had a unfortunate incident on my play where a gentleman and I were playing, and he thought he had won the game because of breach. Breach does not take out the last life on the opponent, and they did not know that, and it cost them the victory. And they actually, fortunately, might have accidentally finished up an opponent that way in their last round, and so it messed up the parents. Do you guys yourself a favor. I tried to do my best to give you some rules of the week, but I always encourage players to read the rules. They get updated almost every week. The last one I had checked them last week was August 22nd. Read them again. I'll try to see if there's an update before Bandai. It's a big event next week, just to make sure I know what's going on, because not reading the rules can cost you or your opponent, an important transaction and close it out. Games that way never feels great. I didn't feel good about telling him that he actually didn't win, but our channel rules are what saved me from another loss. So just keep an eye out. If you guys need information or you're not too sure, feel free to message me. I actually happen to know a few judges, so if there's something I don't know, I can always forward it to them and get a ruling from them, since they're licensed for that. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good week. Those of you participating in Newtype challenges, make sure you guys are doing everything you can. Read up on the meta decks. Talking Cards with Garrett does a good job with that. Eggman has done some great videos. Check out the meta reports that those guys are having on there. TCG Top Decks has a lot of information. He's in preparation for that. I'm going to do some work over the next few days, trying to get ready for these 2 big tournaments over the next few weeks. I'll hopefully have some reels and shorts for you guys to watch out for over the weekend, and having something put together for Monday. And yeah, next Friday, we'll get ready for the big one. And without that, anything else, go forth, Gundam team.